I'm Talley Fisher. I'm a local artist in Bellefonte, and I'm just here to discuss that. I do large-scale suspended sculpture with perforated aluminum. It's very natural forms with a sort of industrial material, so they can look like clouds or petals or leaves, or sometimes it's a little more abstract and kind of up to the imagination of the viewer. I actually had worked with my father, Rob Fisher, and I took over his business when he passed away unexpectedly and wanted to finish up about 5 of his projects that he had ongoing. So in the process of completing those projects, I ended up really enjoying what I'm doing, and I've done about 30 of my own design and installation since then. I have pieces all over the world, some in China and Hong Kong and Omaha. The piece in Omaha is a beautiful piece. It's actually one of my favorites. It's in a bank, in a bank headquarters in Omaha, Pinnacle Bank. It's called Sunrise Cascade. I spent 2 months in Las Vegas installing a sculpture that my father and I had actually worked on together before he passed away. It's based on the idea that water is the lifeblood of the desert, you know, in Las Vegas. So you have a large cloud bank that has sort of veils of rain in desert sunrise colors. There's a waterfall of bead chain that goes down to the lower level, and then it comes out like a river or a virtual arroyo, so it's called Blue Arroyo. So we have desert sunrise, waterfall, and Blue Arroyo. The piece I'm working on in the studio currently is a representation of a gaff tree that's being put up in a desert learning museum in Al Ain in the United Arab Emirates. The gaff tree is their national tree, and so the piece, it's curved stainless steel tubing that makes the trunk, and then bead chain and these perforated aluminum sort of oval curved plates that represent the leaves. I'm in an old industrial building that was the old Sutton manufacturing building. What it has is 20-foot ceilings. I have my grids that I can suspend the sculpture 20 feet off the ground, so I have a really large space to work with to be able to do mock-ups, and sometimes, in this case, create the entire sculpture before I pack it and ship it. Often use fabricators locally for the water jet cutting, somebody who rolls the material. It's nice to have people locally that I can work with and that are willing to work with an artist in industrial applications. I love the architecture and the historic nature of the town, as well as the surrounding environment. I'm a mountain girl. I love trees and the rivers. It's a beautiful, quiet, wonderful community to grow up in and come back to, as it turns out. I'm actually on the Talley Park Committee, and I work with the Edible Garden. My parents, Rob and True Fisher, were very involved in setting up the park back in the 70s. It's just a really wonderful resource and a beautiful space within the town, which I was not named after, actually. It's my mother's maiden name, Talley.